All right, guys, welcome to the Crawford County, Illinois Ghost Center Society live talk show. I'd like to welcome everybody tonight if this is your first time watching. Again, this is episode number 62. And we're currently working on our website. It's being revamped right now also, so if you go to that, it will probably show you something else. It's under construction right now. We're redoing our website too with the new logos and everything. So definitely check out CrawfordCountyGhostCenters.org here in the near future. And our website will be back up soon, guys. We apologize about that, but we switched over to the new logo, so everything's been redone now. But you can email us at illinoishauntings@gmail.com if you have a investigation you'd like us to conduct or a haunted location you'd like us to check out. Definitely send us an email at illinoishauntings@gmail.com. We'll get back with you guys as soon as possible regarding any type of paranormal activity you guys may be experiencing. And again, we're going live tonight from Facebook. So facebook.com/Crawford County Ghost Hunters. We are also dual streaming to YouTube. And I want to talk about that for a minute real quick and leave that up there for just a second. We are dual streaming to YouTube tonight. So /Crawford County Ghost Hunters on YouTube there or YouTube. It's at Crawford County Ghost Hunters. If you guys could all go, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would really appreciate that. We're going to try some experiments here in the near future where we dual stream from Facebook and YouTube on our lives, like on our paranormal investigations. And that will give us the ability to put two different investigators in two different locations, possibly two completely different locations. We could have somebody in a cemetery and somebody in a building, or somebody in part of the building in another room. And, the one going live on YouTube might be different than the one going live on Facebook. Something we're going to try out here in the near future, some experiments with that. So definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys. It's youtube.com/Crawford County Ghost Hunters or at Crawford County Ghost Hunters on YouTube. And we're going to start using it a lot more to go live just because the video quality is a lot better on YouTube than it is Facebook. So definitely subscribe to that. I know we have a lot of followers on Facebook, so we're going to try to get, a lot of people over to our YouTube channel so we can start doing that. Because right now, most of you guys are on Facebook, and we want to switch, a lot of people over so we can start, going more mainstream on YouTube. So definitely subscribe to that, guys. But we also have an Instagram, which is we don't hardly use anymore. It's Instagram /Crawford County Ghost Hunters. Check it out. And our new phone number is 1-872-888-9790. So if you have a investigation you'd like us to, do, or a haunted location, also definitely give us a call. Leave a message at that number. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. We get a lot of messages, a lot of emails, so it's hard to filter through all of them. But definitely, leave us a message, and we'll try to get to you as soon as possible, especially if you need help with something, strange going on in your home or business. Music tonight was by the Midnight Syndicate. All rights reserved, used with permission. You can definitely check those guys out at midnightsyndicate.com. They got some really cool music, guys, and they're putting out some new music this year too. I see, and they're getting some really neat music going around the Halloween season here. So midnightsyndicate.com. You can also check those guys out on Spotify. They got some really cool horror gothic style music if you like that stuff, and check those guys out, please. But we're going to get right into tonight's talk show, and going to talk about some of our recent investigations that we've been conducting here lately, some of the places that we've been, and a big investigation we've been conducting. And I'll answer any of your questions hopefully you guys might have regarding any of our recent investigations. I've got the chat room popping up now, so that's finally working. Had a heck of a time getting this thing going tonight, guys. We had some severe thunderstorms last night. It really slowed our internet down. The internet signal is horrible out here right now, so Hope you guys can all see and hear me okay out there. But yeah, we had some bad thunderstorms roll through last night, as I'm sure everybody in the area did. So hopefully everybody's all right after that round of storms. But um, we like to get out in those type of storms to investigate, because the electrical activity and the lightning in the atmosphere and everything just increases paranormal activity. So anytime there's a lightning storm or a thunderstorm like that, we try to go out and do some investigations and do some EVP investigations, ITC investigations, to see if we can pick anything up. So looks like we got a full house here. Got a lot of people in the chat already. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you guys watching out there tonight. Deb says she's already subscribed to the YouTube channel. So thanks, Deb. We appreciate that. But yeah, anybody who wants to go subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do that. We'd really appreciate it, because we're going to try to, like I said, we're going to try to do a lot of investigations on YouTube, or post to YouTube also. We're still going to go live from Facebook, don't get me wrong, but we're going to try, doing 2 cameras, so you guys get kind of 2 views. If you've got maybe something you can split screen on at home, like a TV or something that allows you to do split screening, it'll be really cool, because we could be, we could have somebody in the top of like a place like the United Methodist Village, for instance, have somebody in the old part, somebody in the new part, and dual stream, and you guys can see the investigations going on at both locations. So that'd be pretty neat. But yeah, with the Halloween season approaching, somebody's already asking about that. Do you have any plans in works for Halloween? Absolutely. We've got some really cool ideas coming up for the Halloween season for our haunted tours this year. We're going to have some really, really cool places for you guys. Hopefully a few new places for investigations and public haunted tours this year. So we will definitely keep you posted on that. A little too early to announce them yet, but we definitely will be doing that here in the near future, Bob. Thank you for bringing that up. So here's a cool comment. Excuse me. April Wood said, my son went with you to United Methodist Village during the supermoon. He had lots of interesting things to tell me. I'd love to go sometime. Yeah, definitely get a hold of us, April. I assume he might have taken the tour. We at the last minute here the other night during the supermoon, we decided to invite some people to the United Methodist Village, as free. So we put it out on our Facebook page, and I was trying to see how many spontaneous people we had out there that would just watch our page and jump out of bed, with about 30 minutes notice and come over to the village if you were close. But believe it or not, we had a bunch of people. I was limiting it to like 20 people, and we definitely have that 20 people, maybe a little bit more. So in like less than an hour notice, really, me putting it out on the page. So that's pretty cool, guys. We appreciate that. And yeah, I had some really interesting things happen there. We're going to talk about that here later on in the show, some of the activity we experienced there. I mean, some of it, I guess I'll just kind of go into it, but I kind of want to go in order too, though, of our investigations, and we'll get to the Moe's on Main here in a minute. But yeah, the supermoon the other night, like I say, we did the Methodist Village, had some really good activity in there. The United Methodist Village is really picking up. I just seen Trudy's comment said, yeah, last minute poo on you, Jason. I know, I'm sure a lot of people were mad about that. And it's kind of why I made it free too, because it was like a last minute thing. I'm like, man, if these people are willing to get out and go, like 30 minutes notice, we can't charge these people. And yeah, we try to, do haunted tours and stuff and raise money for the owners to keep the lights on and stuff at the village. And, all that money goes back to helping, support the village. And we try to clean it up. And, there's a lot of bills for the current owner to pay there. So, but yeah, it was pretty cool. We got a lot of people, but a lot of activity that night. We were down one of the hallways and started hearing this knock on a door. So I set one of my vibration detectors again up on top of the door. If you guys watched our last live feed from the village, I believe that was, let me see here. Got to go back and look. Looks like July 29th. We went live 29th and 30th in there because we were having a lot of activity. We weren't expecting to go live that night. that's when a couple of our live feeds here lately, we weren't expecting to even go live, and we started having some crazy activity. So we kicked the camera on and tried to show you guys what was going on. But yeah, the United Methodist Village just went crazy lately with activity, especially in the Otten Center. That's where we've been getting door hits. Like somebody's been hitting that door so hard, and it sets off our vibration detector. And it's pretty cool because we had a whole group of people there. You know, some of them I'd never met on this last investigation that April's referring to there. Said her son went to the village. You know, some of these people I'd never met in my life, you know, they got to experience some weird stuff that night. You know, we got some really cool activity. So that's what we like. You know, we like to show, you know, people that have never experienced any type of paranormal activity, you know, what it's like to, you know, see that stuff and hear that stuff. And, you know, even psychologically, we like to know, you know, what they thought about it. And I always ask people, you know, after their first investigations, you know, what they thought about it. And, you know, some people are just, you know, dumbfounded and amazed by some of the stuff that happens. I mean, it's crazy. But trying to answer all your questions too tonight, guys. Trying to do better about that while we're going through, so I don't have to go back and answer them all later. But she said I would get creepy feelings. I would hear things sometimes when I go play laser tag at the Methodist Village. Yes, that place. Every time we play laser tag at the village, it is a ghostly event, to put it lightly. I mean, I've experienced things playing laser tag in there. You know, James, one of my team members, he has that Battle Zone laser tag business. I always like to plug that on here. He's going to be starting that back up soon, but he has a website, I believe. You know, it's Battle Zone Laser Tag, and he will attest to some of the strange things that we've experienced in there while playing laser tag. You know, we would run into a room thinking somebody was in there. I would go into a room, you know, to shoot at somebody, and there's no one there other than a ghost. But I've heard walking behind me, you know, people walking up behind me in the hallway while we're playing laser tag, people running toward us and they're not there. I've seen like black shadows go across the halls while we're playing laser tag, because he lights it up with like red and blue lights in there. And I think the red and blue light combo really enhances weird shadows in there. And it really allows us to see some of the activity while we're playing. So it's kind of cool. But again, yeah, that's what she's talking about, the laser tag that takes place there in the village. Bob says he loves our spontaneous broadcast. Thank you, Bob. We'll probably do that a lot, you know, when we don't expect to go live. You know, when we start having activity, we definitely, you know, we'll try to go live, you know, as that happens. And sometimes it sucks, you know, because we're just out there and we don't think anything's going to happen. You know, we're at a spot where, you know, once in a while something happens, once in a while it doesn't, and then all heck breaks loose and we got to get the camera rig out and get it going and fire up the live. And by the time we fire it up, half the activity is over with. So sometimes we get lucky and continue to capture it. But especially like the village the last time, you know, that it continued to happen after we got the live feed going. So that was really neat at the, you know, United Methodist Village in Lawrenceville there. Again, yeah, we did that full moon tour in there. Went really well. We appreciate everybody that showed up to that last minute, last second on that one. And I also want to talk about our recent investigation, our return to the Moe's liquor store, the bar and package liquor store there, Moe's on Main in Marshall, Illinois. This will probably be the last night, you know, I talk about that, just because, like, due to the nature and sensitivity of that investigation that's ongoing, I guess, is a good way to put it. So due to some crazy things that have revealed themselves during that investigation and happening during that investigation, we will probably end up going private with the rest of our investigations there, if we do conduct any more soon, at the Moe's liquor store, the bar and package liquor store there in Marshall, Illinois, right underneath the water tower. Just a lot of evidence surfaced, a lot of I think emotions were brought up, you know, from the investigation we conducted there. And, we don't have a crystal ball, guys. Like when we go into investigate a location, especially this location, that Moe's liquor store there in Marshall, Illinois, we had absolutely no idea. We did not do any historical research into that building other than the fact that, we were told there had been 2 suicides at the location. Later found out through a anonymous source that is a very good source that there had been 4 to 6 suicides take place in the same building. And we were contacted by the owner because she was having bad luck. She was wanting to get the place blessed. She didn't have any other, she was running out of options, guys. And I totally respect her for, allowing us to come into that place and, go live with that investigation. I mean, it took a lot of courage for her to do that. And I highly recommend, she's got a restaurant called, Moe's on Main there in Marshall, Illinois. I highly recommend you guys go and eat at that restaurant. Extremely cool place, cool atmosphere. So if you're ever in Marshall, Illinois, go and check out Moe's on Main restaurant and eat there. It's a really cool place. Like I say, neat atmosphere. But, she was experiencing strange things and contacted us regarding, her restaurant and then later the bar, which could be connected to the strange activity in her restaurant. So this is probably, like I say, this is the wrap up of those investigations I'm doing here on the show. We probably will not talk about it a whole lot further past this point, just because, like I say, and I want to get back to the whole what I was talking about regarding a crystal ball. When we go into these locations, we don't have a crystal ball. We can't see the future as to what we're going to kick up, what we're going to find with our historical research after we go in, or the information we're presented through ITC information, instrumental transcommunication or communication with what we believe to be some intelligent source. We could be speaking with the dead. We could be speaking with some, force. I don't know what comes through these ghost boxes, or, what type of intelligent source gives us this information. Are we speaking directly to the dead? Are we speaking to some, wave of knowledge that we can tap into with that? I don't know, I do know that when we do these ITC sessions, these EVP sessions at locations like Moe's or places that have had strange deaths occur, unsolved homicides, and we've done this for years. We've been investigating numerous murder sites, numerous unusual death sites where, it could have been foul play, could have been, suicide, could have been murder. We've done that for years, guys. This isn't the first one. I mean, we've, started out years ago with the Kibbe General Store over here and the Randolph case. They thought he had committed suicide in the top part of the barn. Other people believe it was murder. He was the way the rifle was found and everything in the top part of the Kibbe General Store here near Oblong, Illinois, basically. It was the old town of Kibbe. And that location's actually on my haunted tours. If you guys take the Crawford County haunted tour, we've investigated numerous sites and places that we can't even talk about. We have to keep on the down low. We've investigated, a couple places, even in Evansville, we got called into where there was a murder. And I mean, the scene, it was so fresh. There was still blood splatter on the walls. Crime scene had, the numbers on the walls to where they had marked and came in and actually numbered, the blood splatters and blood patterns and bloody handprints down the walls to where this woman was murdered, So, it's something we do often. We go into these locations and we can't predict the outcome, of what information we receive. And sometimes it scares the family members. Sometimes it scares the people living there. And, we can't really, unfortunately, do anything about that, even though, I would like to, but the names that we get, unfortunately, we can't predict what we're going to find. So I think when people ask us to come into some of these locations, especially, in this case, we found a lot more than what we bargained for. And they got a lot more than what they bargained for, I think, regarding information. So in this case, at the Moe's liquor store, I highly believe from our research, and again, this is the last time we're going to talk about this case, that one of the suicides, and I'm not going to name names anymore. I'm not going to tell any names. You guys watched the previous investigations there. One of the subjects that supposedly committed suicide there, in my personal opinion, I believe through information, investigative information that I got investigating this whole situation and case, my opinion, it was murder. I do not think that individual committed suicide. It was either murder or definitely foul play involved in one of those suicides, and that can be a recipe for a haunting. And I believe that is the whole reason why she's experiencing bad luck. I've told, I talked to her, the owner of the store, and I've told her the same thing. I think, that's what's going on. I don't know about the other, 5 suicides there, but I know that one, we found enough evidence suggesting that something's wrong. That it is definitely not what I believe to be a suicide. And again, just my opinion, take it for what it's worth. And it's also the opinion of multiple others, that this was, there was foul play at hand, at least. Whether it was all out murder, I don't know, but definitely foul play involving the death of one of the subjects in there. And the the strange thing was, guys, I caught everybody who said that they were there that night in a lie. Every one of them. And I'm sure they're watching me right now. And I just want you guys to know that the dead speak. The dead do talk to us through instrumental transcommunication, and they will find, their justice one way or another. So the dead have a way of revealing things to the living. And, I'm sure those individuals that were there watching me tonight, and I do want to let them know that, I did catch all of them in lies. So there's not one person I interviewed that was there that night I did not catch in a lie. So I'm just putting that out there straight out. That's why, we got our answers. We got our answers for the owner, and hopefully, some of the family members, it probably opened up another, can of worms here, I guess you could say, because some of the information we found out. And one of the individuals that I interviewed completely lied to me. I mean, every one of the individuals I interviewed involving that case told me different stories about what happened the night, that they were there with the individual that committed suicide. There was like 4 to 6 people in the room while this individual committed suicide in a small apartment. And she supposedly hung herself off the stairs with that many people in there, which is a red flag right there. And every one of them that I interviewed told me a completely different story about what happened, what was going on that night. Just a bad situation. I'm not going to reveal all of it publicly, all the information I found out publicly. I'm just going to leave it at that. But definitely lies being told. One of the individuals that was off camera that night, and I do want to call this out, told me, I have it on audio recorder and video recorder, that she was a family member of this individual. And she was off camera the whole time, didn't want to be on camera. It was probably a reason she didn't want to be on camera. It's because she wasn't a family member, I found out later on. And I talked to the real family later on who called me because they didn't understand why this person was, saying this also. And the individual completely lied about being a family member. And she was there that night too. So none of their stories add up. None of what they told me adds up. So unfortunately, I don't know why the police didn't investigate this situation a little further. There's and that's a sad thing we run into, a lot of with these suicide cases, they're just automatically, oh, it's a suicide. Oh, it's a suicide. I'm not saying police and law enforcement don't do their job. Like I say, we've got connections with law enforcement where we've, helped on a few cases and different things, and we still do. So not going to get into that. But some of these cases, especially local law enforcement, I think they need to look into some of these suicide cases a little more than what they do, because I know of at least 4 in our area that definitely were not suicides. So that I can even recall offhand here. But this one definitely, they need to check into stuff like that. So any type of local law enforcement out there watching, look into suicides a little more. Make sure that's what's happening, because this case for sure needed some attention. But I don't have the power, to open that case back up. So there's nothing I can do about it other than to tell you my opinion on what was happening. And, I think, unfortunately, the reason why she was experiencing bad luck and a haunting at that location. There's an unsettled death there. There's somebody reaching out. She's reaching out from beyond the grave. The one of the ladies living there had a dream. She came to her in a dream and told her everything that happened. That's a message from beyond the grave, guys. She dreamed everything. I mean, to the very last detail about what we believe to be foul play involving one of the so-called suicides there. I mean, one of the girls that was there, she was terrified. She called me. That's why we went back. Yeah, that's why we went back to do a second investigation there. She called me and was really upset by this dream and she had. So the dream was just incredible. I mean, it was an absolute message from the other side as to what happened to her, in my opinion. And the dead do, like I say, give us messages. So hopefully, karma will find somebody with this, and justice will be served eventually, one way or another. But like I say, this is my wrap up of that investigation at Marshall, and I apologize to anybody who it might have offended, but we just tell the truth and what we find. Even if it pisses people off. Yeah, and this one has pissed a few people off. I'm going to be honest with you. There were some people got mad about some of the things we found, and I think there's a reason why they got mad, because some of them are involved in it, and that's just the way it goes. So, but like I say, we don't have a crystal ball when we go into these locations. We can't determine whose name might pop up, whose name will or will not pop up in these ghost box sessions that we do. Even pretty freaky, some of the information that we've gotten over the years, not just this location but the other locations. We've got names, we've gotten makes and models of cars involved in homicides, we've gotten license plate numbers, we've gotten years, we've gotten dates of people. Just crazy stuff. But anyway, that was that investigation there at Marshall. Like I say, we are going to investigate a few other locations there. We've had several other people want us to come in to investigate different hauntings that are going on in the Marshall area and Clark County. We're also going to be back down in the Carmi area. We've got multiple different locations we're going to be investigating here in the 2023 season as it gets closer and closer to Halloween, guys. So I definitely want you guys to keep updated with our site and our page. And we'll tell you, as much information as we can, regarding those locations. We're going to, another location we investigated here recently where we went live and we didn't even, plan on going live again, was Redford Cemetery over in Jasper County. That was our one the other night. Had Courtney with me and Luke. We were just kind of going to go different cemetery locations and that were haunted in the area and see if we could find anything. We ended up going to Redford, which also has a local name that I'm not going to repeat on the air either, because it's not really politically correct. But it is known more by the local name than it is Redford Cemetery, but it is in the Jasper County area near the MVP over there, and it has a long legend of being haunted. Numerous reports over the years. I mean, just numerous reports of paranormal activity at this cemetery. And everything from, the gate in the front, like swinging open and hitting people's cars while they were there. People seeing lights in the back of the cemetery. There's an individual in the back part of the cemetery who, actually in the woods, who was not allowed to be buried in the cemetery. So they buried him back in the woods. This was an African-American male. And his name was James or Jace Wheeler. It's both ways in the history books and on the tombstone. You can actually go and see that tombstone on our Facebook page. I should have downloaded the picture and brought it up here on the show, but we do have one of the probably last known photographs of his tombstone on our Facebook page. Back when Jason Dickerson was still on my team, we had hiked back. So that's how long ago it's been. We had hiked back to this tombstone and took a lot of pictures of it. And about probably, I don't know, a year maybe after we took those pictures, maybe a little bit longer. It could have been longer than that. Some vandals went back there and just tore the heck out of the tombstone. I was so pissed. I notified, Jasper County Sheriff's Department. We done an investigation ourselves and figured out who done it. I gave them names of the individuals that were responsible for doing it. And to my knowledge, nothing was ever done about it. Again, swept under the table, nothing done about it. A piece of history that was back in the woods that you cannot replace got vandalized and broke, and not a thing was done about it. Yeah, we figured out who done it, so I'm sure law enforcement could have figured out who done it really quick. But yeah, that stone was about a quarter of a mile back in the woods behind Redford Cemetery, and the pieces are still back there. If you hike back there, I've got GPS coordinates to the location of where he's buried back there, and the pieces of the stone are still there. Like when we went back and found that it had been vandalized, we tried to put all the pieces back together the best we could. It was like putting a puzzle together. I mean, they busted the heck out of this thing. But like I say, karma will get those people too eventually. That's why I speak, so highly against vandalism on the show all the time. Guys, this new generation of ghost hunters or thrill, they're not even ghost hunters. They're like thrill seekers. I don't even know what you'd call them. They go out there and they just break stuff and tear stuff up and vandalize stuff. It does you no good. It's disrespectful. It's harmful, and it does not increase paranormal activity. If you're going out there for a thrill and think you're going to, see this ghost pop up out of the ground because you broke their tombstone, it doesn't happen that way. It's just completely bad and disrespectful. So again, I want to tell people, don't do that. And if you get caught, you will face the consequences of getting caught doing that. And hopefully, we don't run into somebody doing that out there, because they will not like it, and they will go to jail, if we catch them out in cemeteries doing that stuff at night. So don't do that, guys. If you're out there watching, if you're, the younger group of kids, and it seems to be, that like 12 to 18-year-olds now, that's what we've been catching breaking into the village. I don't understand why, if they're bored on the weekends or what's going on, but there's these younger kids just breaking in these buildings at night. I don't know where their parents are at. They're apparently not watching them, but something just hit my door behind me again. Happens every show. Sorry, something just knocked and banged on my door. Don't know what that was. But I'm on a rant here, sorry guys, about the vandalism. It makes me mad. Just like when we were in the cemetery the other night, there's beer cans all over in the cemetery. I mean, just be respectful. Clean the cans up. Don't throw your cans out in the middle of the cemetery. But the ghosts are pissed too. They're hitting my wall behind here. But anyway, guys, we're gonna have a lot of stuff coming up here in the near future. Jerry says ghosts wanting to join in. Yeah, this is right. Yeah. George says, you nailed it. The paranormal has changed. Lack of respect for the living and the spirits. Just ugly lately. I used to brag about being a paranormal investigator. I know it's almost like you don't want to even tell people what you do anymore, George, because all these new investigators, and a lot of it I'd still blame on TV. It's these TV ideas that they're portraying of demonic and evil spirits, and they think that by going out and tearing stuff up, that it's going to cause these evil and demonic spirits to show themselves and come after them. And like TV has changed ghost hunting and paranormal investigating forever for the worse. I mean, I hate locations that are labeled evil and demonic. I will not watch those. I will not even associate with people who put those on their videos, their YouTube videos and anything. I actually denied somebody coming into the village here a while back. He's got a big name and he wears a cowboy hat. and he calls himself like Kalani or something, the cowboy, and he's big on like TikTok and everything. He wanted to come into the village, and I flat out told him no. I went and watched some of his videos. All he did was label stuff demonic and evil. He also mislabeled and misrepresented the Freemasons, which kind of pissed me off as well, because I am a Freemason, and he said that Freemasons basically open portals to places and cause demonic activity at locations and do rituals in their homes, and that this home was haunted because of the Freemason activity in there. And this guy, you can tell, doesn't know his butt from a hole in the ground, but he calls himself the cowboy or something, the Kalani, the cowboy or something. I don't know. You can find him on YouTube if you want to go watch his stupid stuff. But anyway, he's got millions of followers, and he tried to get in the village, and I told him he was not coming to the village and representing the United Methodist Village in that manner. And I've also, told other Hollywood ghost hunters and other, so-called big name paranormal investigators that fake stuff that they can't come in, because we're not going to, have a circus freak show of these people faking stuff. And it's just ridiculous. That's the way the paranormal world is now. You got these people just calling everything that happens demonic, and there's scratches down them. Well, they probably got scratches from their dog before they left, their house that evening, or their cat scratched them. And then they go on this investigation, and oh my God, my back got scratched by 3 scratches. It's always 3 scratches, but is demonic and evil because it represents the Trinity, or the opposite of the Trinity. I mean, it just, they like to make all this stuff up. It's ridiculous. But point is, if you see it on TV, it's fake. I don't care what show it is. It's fake. They're doing it for entertainment. And a lot of these TikTok videos and stuff are absolutely entertainment. That's why I'm trying to stay away from the TikTok scene. People have been asking me to make a TikTok and, go live on TikTok. And I'm sure we get a lot of followers, but from what I've seen on TikTok, it's all fake, and I don't agree with any of it. So we're not doing it. We're going to stay right here on Facebook and YouTube and do our own thing and do what we've been doing for years. And that's tell people the truth about paranormal research and investigations, and show you guys the real side of, paranormal investigating. Just like George is saying, yeah, the old school. Yeah, he's got it here. Thank you for speaking up and being a strong adult, which is really lately people being adults in this field. It's time to bring back old school paranormal investigations. Kind of like drinking out of the garden hose, old school. Yeah, that's no kidding. Like I said, I've been doing this for over 26 years now, and the new ways of investigating are just ridiculous. So you say everything's demonic. And you got to be extremely careful with all these gadgets and stuff they're selling now, too, because half these things are just lights and gizmos to get your attention, to make it look like something's happening. The K2 meters, we experimented with SLS cameras. The SLS camera could be highly debunked. They throw out a grid pattern. It's a Xbox, basically Xbox Connect device, and it's designed to make stick figures out of anything. So these people are using these SLS cameras and thinking they're getting paranormal activity with them. And it's just mapping out chairs and poles and trash cans and stuff that's not there, because it wants to make stick figures out of these things, Same way with EMF meters. People don't know how to use them. They think anytime that little red light goes off, or that needle spins to the right on your tri-field, or whatever model EMF meter you're using, Mel meters, whatever it may be, or whatever the case may be with that. Electromagnetic fields are everywhere. They're manipulated and caused from, man-made sources 99.9% of the time. There's cell phones, there's radio waves, there's internet, different things. Even the geomagnetic field of the earth can affect those, like a compass. A compass needle will spin circles when it gets into contact with some fields. So an EMF meter can also detect those fields, and it may not even be it could be a natural source of something disturbing that as well. So, you got to be extremely careful with EMF meters and determine that what you're picking up is paranormal. And the only way to do that is to cut the power to the location you're investigating, not have any cameras there, not have any radios there, not have anything that is capable of setting that EMF meter off. And then if you get an EMF spike, you still have to question it. When we take EMF meters in, and I've told you guys this on multiple occasions, we are looking for electromagnetic field sources that are man-made. We are not looking for ghosts with these EMF meters. We're looking for sources that could indicate um, an area where paranormal activity might produce itself or develop from a high EMF field, or a location where the mind itself could be induced or manipulated by electromagnetic fields. EMF induced hallucinations are real. People can see and dream things when they get exposed to high EMF fields, like having your head in a microwave oven, basically. So you can actually start having weird paranormal things happen, and it has a natural explanation. You've been exposed to a very high electromagnetic field for quite a while. So we try to get all these rumors and stuff that you see on TV, or all these, I guess, fake methods that you see on TV. We like to reveal them to you and tell you guys the truth. So that way, when you can spot them yourself and know that this is bull crap when you're seeing it. The flashlight method definitely is a hoax. People will take mag lights or some type of flashlight and line them up. They usually use mag lights because you can turn them on the end. And what it does is it short circuits the light into thinking it's on, or it doesn't know if it's on or off. So it will flip on and off. I'm sure you've seen on these paranormal shows where, they'll ask a question and their flashlights will turn on and off. Total hoax, guys, when you see that. That is a light just short circuiting. Like I say, they turn it to the point to where it could go on or off, and the light is tricked into not knowing whether it's going to come on or off, and it will flicker, every once in a while. It'll come on and off, it's malfunctioning. And we actually had a malfunctioning flashlight on one of our last investigations. I had gotten a new flashlight, and the thing started going nuts. That was at the Moe's liquor store investigation. It started blinking on and off by itself in my pocket, in my hand, and I started to the point where I'm starting to think, is this some weird activity? But I took it home and set it up. It was doing the same thing at my house, which I could still be paranormal activity, but my house is haunted. But no, I debunked the heck out of it. It was a setting or a malfunction in the flashlight. It was actually clicking twice to shut itself off, and you have to click it again, and then it'll flash twice again to turn back on. It was a new light I just got. So some of these lights have weird settings built into them in the first place that you got to figure out when you take them out. So don't just assume when something happens it's paranormal, guys. Always try to debunk things, and the best piece of paranormal equipment you will ever have is right here in between, between these eyes. Your mind, your brain is the best piece of equipment. Use it. Use that brain to try to debunk anything that you come across, and try to determine a natural explanation for any type of paranormal occurrence that you may think you're experiencing, because usually they have one. Since I found you, I don't watch the ones on TV. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Linda, because it's ridiculous. And I know this from experience, guys. I mean, I have been approached by multiple TV, producers and channels, and I've been through the whole ringer with a lot of them, and they all come down, when it comes down to it, they all want to fake stuff. They all ask if I'd be willing to fake stuff, or make a dark or demonic past up for a location that doesn't have a dark or demonic past. They're just on this dark and demonic bandwagon. It's just, it's annoying. I wish I could just shut all these shows down and they could start over with like real actual footage of, investigations. And like George was saying, the old school stuff. He's talking here even, bells and whistles not needed, handheld recording equipment, compass, and yourself, best equipment ever. Message me, brother, anytime. Let's investigate. I'm in California. Sounds good, George. I appreciate that. So I got a guy watching from California tonight, and definitely on the same approach as I am. And you don't need all the bells and whistles to investigate. And that's why I'm sure when you guys first started watching this, we've kind of graduated over the years, into this approach and debunked so much of the equipment that we even use. We'll debunk our own equipment that we were using. and we're down to using, just like just standard recorders, anything that can record audio, video, and take pictures. Your basic cameras, and keep it simple. Video camera systems, IR video camera systems. You got to be extremely careful with those as well, because a lot of people don't understand that they're getting bugs, dust, pollen, and rain on their IR video camera systems, especially the new ones they're setting up. Even door cams and that people will send us now. They think they've captured some type of anomaly floating past it, and it's this blurry ball of light. It's either a bug, it's a dust particle, it's something that got close to that camera lens, and the light reflecting off of the camera light or the IR light has caused that to look blurry at close range. I mean, all these things can be debunked, so we've got to be extremely careful with video equipment using IR. That's why a lot of times we'll do our live feeds now instead of using IR cameras, because like the IR light will actually bounce off stuff and cause false anomalies. But if you've got a light source that you can turn off, and then you have a light source generated in the background by some type of anomaly, now that's more legit if it's making its own light source and it's not, a light being bounced off of it. If you've got a black background with no lighting, shooting toward a cemetery, and all of a sudden this illuminating light source comes toward you, that's more legit, because you don't have the IR on, you don't have the camera light on, you don't have any type of light source on at all. And if you got an illuminating source of light that you can see visibly with the naked eye, and that's something a little weirder there, but a little more harder to explain. So that's why we like to do our live feeds too, and turn the lights out. We'll shut the lights out and do dark sessions, and you'll often hear me ask for a light source or somebody to reveal themselves in the form of a light. And that's what we want. We want something to self-illuminate and come toward us. We don't want it to be a dust particle that's picked up on our camera because of the light source being on, nothing like that. We want a self-illuminating light source to be paranormal, and it never happens. So, paranormal anomalies and phenomena are extremely rare. It's like winning the lottery. These people think they get something every time they go out. 99.9% of it can be debunked. George, I'm talking to him again here. Hate to admit, after doing one episode of Ghost Adventures, I found out so much not to do. Yeah, that's for sure. Also found out 99% is what looks and sells on TV. First time watching you, and thank you for being you. Keep it going, sir. Thanks, George. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, and I've had some contacts with those same people, George. Actually, recent contacts with those same people. And they were wanting to find a location to shoot at, and they were wanting to make it dark and demonic. And I flat told them, no, we are not making they wanted to shoot the United Methodist Village, and I was going to help them. And I told them absolutely no, it's not happening, because they were wanting to make up a dark and mysterious past. Everywhere I went where Zach and Ghost Adventures has been, they have made something up. I was out investigating the Stanley Hotel in Colorado. They had nothing nice to say about those people, about Zach and his crew. They had made up multiple things regarding one of the rooms and the bedroom where multiple people supposedly died in beds out there. They made some of the story up. I was out at just different locations all over the United States where, we've went, and they have nothing good to say about that group. They made stuff up at the Mansfield Reformatory. They made stuff up at a lot of different locations. So I had no respect for people like that and Hollywood ghost hunters that want to fake stuff to get attention. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to come on quick here, do a show tonight, and kind of update you guys on our current investigations that we've got going on. And had some new people on tonight. I appreciate that, George, for tuning in. Don't know where you found us at, but that's cool you got on here. I'll try to get a hold of you. I'll find you on Facebook, George, and send you a message. And yeah, you're more than welcome to come out here anytime too, and go on an investigation with us. I love finding people with the same approach and same mindset as us, instead of that Hollywood dark and demonic mindset. I mean, so there's not many people left out there, old school investigators like he's talking about. So yeah, I'll get a hold of you, George. I really appreciate you watching tonight's show, and kind of gonna do a short show tonight. I've got a lot of stuff going on tonight and tomorrow, so I want to get on here and just update everybody regarding our current investigations, and we got a lot coming up, guys. A lot of investigations, and keep watching our feed, because you never know when we're going to pop up live. You know, we might be investigating some weekend, we don't announce it, we have weird stuff happen, and all of a sudden we're live at midnight. So you can catch the replay. A lot of people catch our replays, and we thank you guys for that too. And definitely, you're our eyes and ears when we're doing those live feeds. I've told you that on the live feed. When you're watching our live investigations, timestamp anything you see or hear. If you guys see or hear anything unusual, you know, you see any apparitions or you hear any voices, because voices may come across the audio portion of the camera that we can't hear, timestamp it. We'll go back and listen to it. It's like having a bunch of investigators at once out there, you know, listening for us. And we really appreciate you guys. So I hope everybody has a really good evening. And, you know, I hope I answered all your questions to the best of my ability tonight. And we are going to probably call this one. And we'll probably be live this weekend, guys, for another investigation somewhere. So look forward to us being on, you know, around Friday or Saturday night. Probably Saturday night, the way it's looking. So hope everybody. Oh, and real quick, we might be on tomorrow night, actually. We've got a group of individuals coming into the village tomorrow night, a private group. And if they are okay with us filming tomorrow night, I kind of want to do a little experiment regarding the United Methodist Village and this group of ladies that's coming tomorrow night. So check our page tomorrow. We might go live tomorrow night if they're in agreement to us going live tomorrow night. I haven't asked them, you know, permission yet, but if we do, that will be happening tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll see you then. Thank you guys, and have a good evening.